Hey Pascal, hope you're well. This is my first check-in, so it's Sunday morning at 10:05. I've just finished my third session in the gym this week. Enjoyed the sessions, looking forward to a bit more volume. I'm getting through them quite quickly, and I get that it's probably an introduction week, so I'm looking forward to working a little bit harder. All that being said, it has been a tough week, especially with the baby. He's not really sleeping very well, so there's been a couple of occasions where I've had 3 hours sleep or something like that, and that's had a knock-on effect into everything else. Struggled a bit with food choices. I've had a couple of social occasions which have meant that I've had non-optimal foods, but I've tried to account for it with calories first and then hitting protein requirements. So apart from one occasion, I think I've been there or thereabouts on the calories, but really understand my protein intake's been quite low, and that's a big focus for me next week. I'm just looking down to my notes. In terms of exercises, just one question. I'm going to do some research online a little bit about it later, but I'm struggling understanding too much of the difference between a pendlay row and a bent over row. In my head, the pendlay row just seems to be more a stricter form, and yeah, so I just need to do a little bit of a research online about that. I'll start with the Revive Stronger exercise library and see where I go from there. Water intake's been really fine. I am very thirsty generally, so I tend to drink quite a lot. If I'm training, I train first thing in the morning, and so I'll generally go through 2 shakers of water, then maybe a shake, a coffee, and then I'll maybe have, I think I'm hitting 3 to 4 litres a day easily. It's only one, maybe 2 coffees within that. Especially this week, I've needed a little afternoon coffee for a bit of a pep me up. In terms of fruit and veg, my wife is a real health freak, so there's a really big focus on our veg intake. To be honest, I tend to not eat too many fruits. I think it's just a case of enjoyment, as there's a piece that, like, with a beard, like apple or pear or juicy fruits tend to get everywhere, and if I'm eating at my desk it's a bit of a mess and I can't really do it. So I mean, I should maybe get some more fruit intake in, but I think with my low calories at the moment, I'm more comfortable focusing on veg intake, because I feel like you get more nutrients for your calories, and I'd rather have carb sources of something that's more satiating. Be interested to hear your thoughts on that. Really motivated at the moment. I've got right back into the swing of training. Yeah, really enjoying it, liking having a focus, liking having some accountability. This is quite challenging for me, actually. I'm not don't usually enjoy speaking to camera, so this is interesting, and I think doing it in a car away from a home environment's going to suit me well. Struggled a little bit with hitting the macros. I've targeted calories first, but I've struggled a little bit hitting the macros. There's a myriad of reasons or excuses for that. I know I've just got to be a bit more strict with myself, and that's a bit of a goal for next week. We're going to start sleep training the baby. So he's 6 months, he's in a big growth spurt, he's teething, and he's quite dependent on us for sleep. So that's sleep is a real challenge that I don't think you and I are going to be able to fix. It's just a case of trying to manage the stress around that, I think. So in terms of my goals for next week, I'm going to aim to hit the protein target daily, and obviously this is all an extension of what I've done this week. So stay within calories, aim to hit the protein target. Space training out a little bit better, so I had to train this week on either Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday, I can't remember, and then Sunday. Ideally I'd like to space it out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it just depends. If one night I got 2 hours sleep, and I don't think I'd have had a really good session by going into the gym, so it didn't make sense for me to train then. And then lower my fat intake. It's just a case of better food choices, I think, leaner food choices, especially around meats and sauces and things like that. Coming up this week, I have been asked to play rugby on Wednesday evening, so it's a low standard game. I haven't played in a long time. I'm really excited about doing it. I don't think it's going to affect my training too much unless I pick up an injury, but I'm not mega injury prone usually, so I'm comfortable. I'm really looking forward to it. It will probably have a bit of an increase in my excuse me on my energy expenditure. So I'd be interested to see what my weight does around that. Unless you advise differently, I'm going to aim to keep all my calorie targets the same around that training, because I just think that the bit of energy expenditure should help. Weight's been relatively stable, drop off in the week, so looking forward to continuing that dropping next week. Are you coming over for the Revive Stronger Christmas meetup? I obviously can't make it because I've got daddy daycare duties, but if you're in and around London for a couple of days, it'd be really good to buy you a coffee, put a face to the name and say hi and meet each other. Let me know, I'd be really interested to do that. With my job, I can be fairly flexible about where in London, so I can travel around quite quickly. Give me some feedback on whether this is enough of an update as well. I want to make sure that you're getting all of the information you need from me. I'm going to try and do the YouTube upload and then send this to you, but if that doesn't work, I might email it to you as well.